Hi everyone. Today I want to continue on with my Comedies and Proverbs, my journey through a series of 6 films that Erich Rohmer directed during the 1980s. And this is the 4th one in the series and is called Full Moon in Paris. And like all of these Comedies and Proverbs, it actually does begin with a proverb. And this one begins with the proverb, "He who has two women loses his soul. He who has 2 houses loses his mind." Now, all these proverbs, like the morals of the 6 moral tales, is Rohmer's earlier series of films, is kind of loosely based, but this one is a little bit closer to the, you can see this proverb a little bit better than some of the others. And it's a story about a young 24, 25-year-old woman, Louise. She's played by Pascal Augier, who is the daughter of Bull Augier, a French actress. And she is juggling 3 loves. And she's living with Remy. They're talking about getting married. He's a very steady, kind of responsible kind of individual. He is part of the planning of one of these new suburbs that it's popping up around Paris, and he has integrity. He believes that if he's designing this new suburb, he's going to live there as well. So it's a train ride from Paris. But Louise doesn't really want to live there. She wants to live with him, but her job is in Paris. She has an apartment in Paris that's now available to her that she had been renting out. And she decides she's going to, whenever she wants to, she's just going to stay overnight at her apartment. Remy appears to love her very much. He objects to it, but there's really not much he can do. Louise likes to party, and Remy does not. He gets bored at parties. So there's tension between them, but you do see a deep affection as well. And that's the first of the loves, or the possibility of love, the confusions of love. The second confusion is Octave, and he is played by Fabrice Lucchini, in one of Rohmer's funniest characters, and very imaginative. He's married with children, has no guilt whatsoever of pursuing Louise, and they are friends, and she wants it to be on the friendship level. He wants to take it to another level. He's very creative, like I say, imaginative, and they start speculating on what Remy may be doing during these nights that Louise spends in Paris. And then the third part of this confusion of love, desire, is Bastien, and he's played by Christian Vadim, the son of Roger Vadim and Catherine Deneuve. And he kind of represents, she meets him at one of her parties. They dance together. She meets him again at another party. Now they start dancing a little bit more close together. She's obviously attracted to him, he to her. But this is on a more kind of lustful level. He's in a rock and roll band. He rides a motorcycle. So again, and this losing your mind and living in 2 houses, her confusion is leading to her kind of losing her mind. And there's a classical underpinning to this movie, as there is in many Rohmer's films. Sometimes you have to dig beneath the surface to look for them. But I was in the character of Octave, a rather unusual name. I've seen a lot of French films. The only film I can ever remember there being Octave is the character played by Jean Renoir in his 1939 film, The Rules of the Game. And this Full Moon in Paris is really, it's kind of like an updating. It's kind of like a reworking of the themes in the Rules of the Game. Octave, in John Renoir's performance, he's sort of like an imaginative, clownish kind of guy. He's the friend, but the friend who is actually in love with Marianne. As this was also based on Renoir's movie was based on a novel called The Caprices of Marianne by Musset. And Marianne is married to a very rich person, very steady life. He gives her a lot of freedom. So he doesn't mind her close friendship with Octave, but now she has a more physical relationship with this famous flyer, and so she juggles. She again is confused. She kind of loses her mind. Everybody kind of loses their mind in the rules of the game. So we see this kind of updating into the 1980s, and Rohmer, this was a very successful movie. Rohmer caught the zeitgeist of the era for young people. They saw Pascal Augier's dilemma as kind of like the dilemma that young people were facing, this kind of confusion and juggling different aspects of love, different aspects of desire, and the kind of freedom that they had that came to be in the post-1968 era of sexual freedom. And the full moon actually does come into play in this movie. Rohmer always brings nature, even though this is an apartment movie, this is a city movie. Nature intrudes upon their lives in the sense of Louise's life, in the sense of a full moon, which she doesn't believe any of that stuff. But by coincidence, she's in a cafe. She meets an artist, and this is in the middle of the night, and she's at the height of her confusion. And this artist is very whimsical. He's very he's not philosophical so much as he attributes all kinds of unusual behavior to the full moon, and Louise is not even aware that there is a full moon. And this character is played by Laszlo Szabo in a really nice little cameo performance. Szabo was part of the French New Wave. He was in several of Jean-Luc Godard's films. There's a very sad postscript to this movie, Full Moon in Paris, as surely, and like I say, it was a big hit, and Pascal Augier wins Best Actress at the Venice Film Festival. She's nominated for the César Award, the French kind of Oscars, but not that long after that, after a night of taking drugs, she died I think she was only 24 from a heart attack. And Erich Rohmer learned about it on the way to the funeral of Pierre Cast. Cast, not a name known in the United States, but he was a longtime friend, critic, filmmaker, colleague, supporter of Erich Rohmer's career. And Rohmer was absolutely devastated because he had known Pascal Augier her whole life. And I believe he officiated at her funeral services. And only 4 days before that, Francois Truffaut had died of his brain tumor at a very young age. I think both he and Pierre Cast were only in their early 50s. So it was obviously a very sad week for the French film community, for Rohmer personally, for film in general. So the next up in the series will be the fifth of the 6 films, and that's Summer. But it's really, this is what it was originally released in the U.S. under the title Summer, but it's really The Green Ray is what it's known as today. And when it's released or plays in movie theaters, it's played as under the title The Green Ray. Okay, as always, thanks a lot for everybody who managed to listen to me. I really do appreciate it. Comments are welcome. Take care.